Okay. Thank you.
All right, so we'll make sure that this actually goes for the hour. I think it will. The only thing that had me kind of like questioning things was on my accounts, it showed like, it does show now downgrade to basic, which is good. It means that I'm not on basic, but it also said like buy pro. And I was like, well, aren't I already, I'm already on premium or pro. So like, you know how there's 4 tiers? There's like basic, pro, premium, and then business or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
On the second tier, the one that we bought, it said buy now. And that's why I was like, that's weird.
I've never, I think I will figure out later. And then also I will use I'll use my another account to access your account because I think it's unlimited for like, if like, let's say we have 2 participants here, there is no time limit. If let's say it exceeds 2 joiners, then yeah, I think I will use my phone and then check whether it works for you, whether it will
Okay,
come.
I think even with 2 participants, it ends at 40 minutes, right?
Last time they said that if let's say 2 participants in a meeting, there's no time limit. If let's say you have 3, then there's time limit.
Okay, I didn't
So
know that. Okay, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, let me open up the file that I want to use.
Sure. A moment. So I will have another. So, yeah. Okay, so yeah.
All right, so I have stuff from the IGCSE text that I thought would be useful.
Okay, sure. Oh yeah, I have a random question like we say both is correct or both are correct.
Both are.
Both are. Okay, good.
Okay, so this is the one that I thought was pretty good.
Oh, that's long.
Yeah, it is. Oops. What just happened? Okay. All right, so the test taking strategy is to read the questions first. But since we're not taking the test, I figured just read it normally. Okay, do you want to read through this together?
Sure.
We can just alternate. Like you can read a bit and then I'll read a bit.
Okay, so yellow and black, it was hiding among the sun-bleached branches at the water's edge. Our boat nudged closer to the island. I lifted my camera and pulled the creature's beady eyes into focus.
You know
Then
what beady eyes are?
actually a lot of words I don't understand. I just like sun-bleached branches and
Can you
like
figure it out with context?
the Lost Lagoon. I have no idea. This is too hard.
Well, what is bleach? Do you know bleach?
Bleach means like something will turn colorless, decolorize something.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
what would sun bleached be?
Sun bleached.
To turn colorless from the sun.
Oh, really?
Sunlight, yeah, sunlight has a bleaching effect. If even on hair, like for example, my hair turns brown eventually. Well, it is brown, but it's like dark brown. But if I'm at the beach for a long time.
Oh, it has the bleaching effect on.
Yeah,
How
yeah.
about our skin? I thought we will get
No,
sunburn.
it has the opposite effect on, but that's because of the UV. It's the same mechanism, but it's just doing different things to this. The skin reacts in a different way. So that UV that breaks down the pigments and things. That's why the hair changes color. That's why like if you leave a sticker, have you ever seen like stickers on the back of a car? We call them bumper stickers.
Bumper stickers. Wait a moment.
These are bumper stickers.
Bumper stickers means the stickers that you stick at the back of the car or anywhere else.
Mhm.
Okay,
Back of the car
back of the car.
specifically. They're a very common thing.
You mean on the glass or?
Like it's
Oh,
on the bumper, but
Oh,
also
okay.
on the glass. It can be anywhere.
oh, okay.
They're pretty stupid, but I do have one on my truck that says like the brand of an oil company. And then, so what's happened over time is the colors faded. I don't know. Have you seen these in real life on cars?
Yeah,
If you notice, you can tell the age of the stickers in Southeast Asia. This isn't really as true in Western countries where there isn't as much sunlight, but because of the extreme climate here, it starts to break down the pigments. So it starts to sun bleach the stickers.
yeah,
So,
I
so
think they have this like sometimes like the Grab company, the Grab or
mhm,
Uber. So they will ask, they actually offer the road, I mean the road users or the drivers, this kind of bumper stickers, and then
mhm.
to stick it at their bumper so they get the allowance. I'm not sure. I just heard of it, but I'm not sure whether it's true or not.
I'm not sure either because that's not right. Yeah, I'm not sure. It probably varies depending on where you are.
Okay.
Just fixing something. Hold on. One of the Twinkle resources I used last night had a mistake, which I should have checked it beforehand.
I noticed that a lot of resources, they are all in Thai.
Yeah, I think it's probably based in Thailand, but
Oh,
it's good. Yeah, I don't know. It's I don't know where Twinkle comes from, but the site I use is twinkle.th. But they also have stuff for learning German, Spanish. So I don't know. It could just be because a lot of ESL stuff is like Thailand is a big market for ESL.
I see.
I think more than Malaysia.
I'm
But
not
I'm not sure. Okay, can you see? No, I need to switch. Hold on.
okay.
I'm getting a message about low system resources, so I'm trying to exit things.
Okay.
Okay. Bye. Goodbye. 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 Okay, that's better. I just exited apps. Okay, so beady eyes are like small black eyes.
Beady
Like,
eyes means
yeah, they look like beads. Like they look like black beads. You know what a bead is? Like on a
yeah,
necklace.
small. Just now you say small
Black.
black eyes. All right.
Yeah.
Is it
Because
in pink?
animals aren't gonna have when they say beady eyes, think about like a mouse or a rat. They have little beady eyes. Reptiles, most reptiles.
Crocodile? Like crocodile?
Crocodiles actually don't have beady eyes. I think they have pretty like large eyes. Like think about like snakes and
Oh,
small reptiles. I don't know. Here's a crocodile eye.
I can't see anything. I think you.
Yeah, I know. I'm switching it. Yeah, I'd say it's actually pretty unique. It has a cool look to it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what it looks like? Did you ever see The Lord of the Rings?
Lord of the Rings? No.
It looks like this from The Lord of the Rings. You should watch that. It's a trilogy of films. I think you would enjoy it.
Sorry?
It's a trilogy of films. Trilogy
Trilogy.
means a package of 3 films. They're long movies, like 3 or 4 hours, but I think you would like it.
Oh, okay.
It's like a fantasy,
Trilogy film.
a trilogy of films.
The trilogy of film. Trilogy.
Yeah.
Is that
Trilogy. Trilogy.
is that a
Tri-
noun or
Yes. It's a noun.
okay? That will be Lord of Rings, right?
Lord of the Rings, yeah.
Lord of the Ring. Okay.
All right, so I'll read. Then in a quarter of a second, measured by the camera's rapid frame burst, the anaconda snapped open its jaws, sprang forward, and hissed in my face. In the Esteros del Ibera, I learned it's hard to avoid getting up and personal with nature. Okay, your turn.
Because I'm still figuring out the meaning.
Okay,
In a quarter of a second means like
0.25.
0.25 second.
Uh-huh.
Measured by the camera's rapid frame burst. What is rapid frame burst?
Like the shutter speed.
Oh, okay. Means
Like-
like
Like, you know how you can set a camera to go
yeah.
like if you're photographing sports or something, in this case, he's photographing something moving very quickly. So you put it on like a burst and it'll send a burst every quarter of a second or whatever. So it would go like you hear that shutter clicking.
Shutter clicking.
Yeah, the shutter is on a camera, you have a physical,
Something like the curtains.
yeah. It's like a circular thing that goes.
Oh, it keeps closing, right? When it
Yeah.
snaps.
Mhm.
Shutter click. We call that a shutter.
Yeah, because on the old cameras, like I have an actual camera. Well, it doesn't use film. I have one of those too, but it's not used. But like on the older cameras, you'll actually hear a click,
So,
click when you push the button because it's
Yeah.
the sound of the mechanical shutter going but really fast. So it just sounds like click, click, click. And if you set it to burst, it'll go
okay,
anyway.
got you. The Anaconda, I think this is the song that I used to.
Oh yeah.
Right, yeah, and then is that the same as the snake?
It's a specific type of snake.
Oh, okay.
It's a big long snake, which is the point. That's the joke of the song. But like it's a snake that operates by squeezing to death. It's called there's a class of snakes called constrictors. To constrict means to like hold, like to keep inside. So the constrictors, they don't have poison. What they do is they wrap themselves around their prey and then they just contract their muscles. Every time the prey breathes out, the snake tightens, and then it's harder and harder for the thing to breathe, right? Like imagine every time you breathe out, something squeezes your lungs. And then you try to take another breath. And as you exhale, the snake will tighten and tighten. It's pretty scary, but they don't really bother with humans.
Oh, you mean Anaconda won't harm the human
Oh, they will, but it's like we're so low on their list of snacks. They would rather eat other things.
rather than humans?
Yeah,
But
humans are hard to kill, I would say. We have, I don't know, we're scary to animals, most animals. We're
Oh,
pretty large. We can hit them with things. We can use tools.
okay.
Anyway,
Sure.
but there have been cases because people keep these as pets. So anacondas usually not, because these are really big snakes. but people keep pythons as pets, which is like
Python,
a python is a
yellow one?
slightly smaller. What's that?
Is that yellow? Because I hear
There's
I
different types. Yeah, that the yellow one is a ball python.
huh? Sorry,
I think the yellow one is called a ball python.
ball
Here.
python.
You can see my whole screen, right?
Yeah.
Okay, there's different types. Here's one.
Oh,
These are common pets.
they are not toxic, right?
No, that's why people keep them as pets. But there are cases of really big snakes. People keep them as pets and then the snakes accidentally kill the person. Like they're
When
not trying to, like they don't eat the person. They just accidentally wrap themselves around the neck while the person's sleeping or something like that. And then they choke them.
oh, I
It's
see.
rare. It's rare. What I've read is that the snakes think that that person is a branch of a tree. And so just as the snake would sort of wrap itself around a tree for like safety, it wraps itself around the person and then chokes them out.
Oh, I see.
But they found people like in New York apartments with snakes and then they're dead. They've been dead for a couple of days. Pretty horrible stuff. But it's super rare. I think it's only happened a few times. Okay. Our guide.
Our guy, Maximo, was smiling. There was no danger, he told me. Anacondas aren't poisonous. They squeeze their victims to death. I can't have looked convinced because he quickly edged the boat away from the bank, and soon we were threading our way through the streams and inlets that weave an unknowable pattern through the
Embalsados,
embalsado.
hundreds of floating.
Hundreds of floating islands which bump and skitter across the surface of this vast lagoon system in a kind of slow motion game of dodgems.
Right. Any vocabulary you want?
A
And don't
lot.
ask me about dodgems.
Uh,
Dodgems sounds like a British thing because I've never heard of it. I've never heard of it.
okay.
I can figure out what it means through context though. Okay, what are your vocabulary words?
Actually, I know some, but when they jumble up together, then it gets very confusing. Like I can't have looked
Such as?
convinced. I can't have looked convinced.
Oh, so
This means I am still
the
worried.
guide, yeah, right. He looked worried. The guide was smiling and he said that there was no danger because anacondas aren't poisonous. But the writer was like not looking very sure. So the guide edged means to slowly move the boat away. If you edge something, it means to like move it slowly in a direction.
Edge means you move something.
Like you can use it in conversation too. He edged away from the topic.
Edge.
Like imagine you're in a conversation and I ask you, oh, how's your father? And then you say, oh, actually, Pat, my father's dead. And also he was a rapist. I'm like, oh, well, how about, have you seen any new movies? Like, I'm starting to edge the conversation away because I don't want to talk about that.
Because
you see how it works?
I see. So you quickly switch the topic.
Not quickly. Quickly would maybe my example isn't the best, but it's like imagine the edge of a cliff. And if you go off that cliff, you're gonna fall into an uncomfortable topic. And then you're on the edge of the cliff, right? And then you're edging away from the edge of the cliff. I think that's where the word comes from. Like when you're close to danger or perceived, in this case, the guide says there's no danger, but they're edging away from it. So it's like, rather than, it's the opposite of saying that something was abrupt. Like they didn't abruptly change directions.
Oh, I see.
I mean, they do say he quickly edged, but it means to move away from.
To move away.
And I think in this case, the boat is moving laterally. So instead of moving forward, it's like he probably pushed away, like the side of the boat moved away.
Okay.
It's not important for your comprehension here, but yeah, that's what edged means. And you can use it. He edged away from the uncomfortable topic in conversation. It's like to move away from.
To move away from.
But that's the verb here. The verb is edged.
And then how about we were threading our way?
Threading is, so it comes from a needle.
Yeah.
Here, I actually have one I can show you. So this is a sewing kit. There's thread here. You see the thread? So to thread a needle, it means to take the needle and then you put the thread through the little, this is called the eye of the needle, the very small part. Eye, same as eyes that you see, EYE.
Oh,
So,
it's not whole.
No, it's called the eye.
The eye.
And so we use that in storms too. Like the center of a hurricane or a tornado or a storm is called the eye of the storm because there's actually no wind there or very little wind there. So anyway, to thread means to like go through something, and it implies that going through that is difficult or it's hard. Like there isn't a lot of space. So he's using language to describe how there's all these, a crazy amount of these floating islands shifting, and the guide is able to thread his way. He's able to move carefully and precisely through these small openings. They're moving through a swamp, basically.
They are moving through?
They are moving through a swamp.
Swamp. You mean like the swampy area?
Yeah, we call it just a swamp.
Just a swamp.
Swamp or wetland.
So they are going through with a lot of obstacles.
Right, yeah.
Carefully, precisely, but still they get through. They got through it. What is like storm through? Because I heard of people say that. Oh, okay.
STORMED.
Yeah, yeah.
It means like to go through in a very loud and obvious way. Like he after the boys' PlayStation was taken away, or after the boys' games were taken away, he stormed upstairs to his room. He said, "I hate you, Mom," something like that. It's like, imagine someone like, or he stormed off.
Stormed off.
She called him an asshole and then he stormed off. It's like, imagine somebody like they're angry and they're just walking away, or it usually implies that the subject is angry. There's also, it's like to move in an aggressive way. You can also say like in war. In 1944, French, American, and British troops stormed the beaches in Normandy, right? So they stormed the beaches. That means they ran up onto the beaches out of boats and they took it from the other soldiers, from the Germans. Here's storming a beach. Right? So see how they're all like running up through? They're storming. You can
Oh.
also storm a castle. This is a famous one. The Bastille was a famous prison in France. So there's a day in France called Bastille Day, and it celebrates when the French revolutionaries, they stormed the castle, the prison, and they freed all of the prisoners. So they stormed, they broke inside and freed everyone. So the French celebrate it because it was the day when they changed from a monarchy to a democracy, basically. They have this Bastille Day, July 14th, 1789.
I see.
Okay, so hopefully that answers storm. It's like to aggressively walk or aggressively move.
Like because I heard of people saying, let's storm through this together. Like let's.
That's a bit of a weird usage, but I get what they're trying to say. They're trying to say like
Right
an
now.
aggressive, they're trying to like get you excited about it, like saying aggressively move through it together. It's to do something with aggression. Are you talking, there's also brainstorming, but that's totally different.
Oh, because from what I know is that like I am actually facing difficulty, and then she said, "Oh, no worries, you are in the same boat as me. Let's storm through it together." Does that make
Yeah,
sense?
like I said, that a native English speaker said that?
No.
Okay. I
Like,
think they're using it in a strange way. I've never heard it used that way. But like, I get what they mean. They mean like we'll get through it together, but like facing obstacles. Like just like the people that stormed the beaches, there were people shooting at them. Or just like
something like that.
the boy who's angry at his mom, he storms off. He's moving aggressively, like stomping his feet. That's what storming off would be. Like if you've ever seen a teenager like angry or something, or like 11 or 12-year-old angry, that's what they do. They storm off. Okay, so I'll read. The Estros del Ibera is the least known of Argentina's natural wonders. Its 63 lagoons are spread across an area the size of Wales and mark the former course of the Parana River. In these vast wetlands, an improbably rich ecosystem thrives, but until recently, it received only a passing mention in many guidebooks. Until only now, with a flurry of low-rise, eco-friendly development, is the Estros finally opening up to tourism. So, what are your questions here? Do you understand what's going on?
Even the previous paragraph, I can't really get. I mean,
They're making their way through a swamp.
yeah, and then like Albasados. What is Albasados?
It tells you hundreds of floating islands.
Okay, which bomb and skitter across. What is
Right.
skitter? Scatter?
Skitter, it means to like jump across the surface. Like if you throw a rock, if you skip a rock across the surface of the water, it'll skitter, it'll go
like this.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, to bounce off of.
To bounce what?
To bounce off of, like repeatedly. Like if something skittered, he threw a rock at the water and it skittered across.
Skitter across.
Mm.
Just now you say to bounce. What is the next one again?
Repeatedly.
Oh, to bounce repeatedly.
Again and again.
Oh, okay.
more than once.
When you throw the stone, when you skip the stone.
Mhm. You can also use it to talk about like here. Here's the beginnings of a,
You throw a stone, it could be like this, but sometimes you can do it like this. So what's the action for this?
skip.
Skip.
You throw it like this. That's skipping a stone.
You don't say throw, right? Throw means like you do it like that.
Right. Here's. Okay, this is already happening. But see those little droplets? Those are rocks skittering across the water. What
Mm,
I wanted to use it, I didn't really want water. I wanted a rock slide where it, imagine like a rock. Have you ever gone climbing or something and then you're on the side of a hill or anything, and then you
mhm.
put your foot down and then a rock falls and it goes all the way down?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so that's skittering also. It's like to bounce
Sure.
off of something repeatedly. Like
Yeah.
as he walked, rocks broke free and skittered down the sides of the mountains, that sort of thing.
Though it's not rolling down, or it's also fine.
You
to
could say that, you could say that also, but skitter is more like it paints more of a picture.
So can we
That's why
say
he's
like
using
we
what?
throw the basketball or we dunk the basketball?
Dunk is a specific thing. Dunk is to jump up and throw it through the basket.
Oh, so what's the whole of
The basket.
or just basket?
Yeah, that's why it's called basketball. Because originally it was an actual basket. They used to use actual baskets.
Uh, I see.
Peach, specifically peach baskets, actually.
We can just say dunk it, right? Dunk it.
Yeah, dunk. You can just say dunk.
Just dunk. Dunk is an action. A verb.
A verb. He dunked the ball.
He dunked the ball.
Or in this case, you could say he knows how to dunk.
He knows how to dunk. He dunks
Uh-huh.
pretty well.
Yeah. It's super hard. It's going to be very, very difficult to do
Yeah.
dunking. You would have to be very good at basketball.
Yes.
And tall too. But anyway, but throwing a basketball is just, throwing it. But dunking is a specific action where you jump up and force the ball through with your hand. Like you push it through.
Yeah.
You also have a layup where you run up alongside the basket and then you go like this, boop, and you toss the ball up in sort of a U-shaped arc, and then it goes right in. Like I don't know, are you into basketball or something?
No.
Okay, this
But
doesn't matter then. Let's skip it. Okay, it's not going to be useful for you, but at least dunk is common. Okay, so this is just a paragraph that's establishing setting. So he starts off with like a fun anecdote, like a fun story about like the anaconda to make the reader excited. This is called the hook because it, like a fish hook, it hooks you into the story. So you have this exciting encounter with an anaconda that's hissing at him. And then after he's finished with that, he starts establishing setting. So he's talking about where the story takes place, or where I don't know if we want to call this a story. Yeah. The excerpt from the story takes place. Excerpt as in EXCRPT, a piece of a story. So he's talking about this area. So it's the size of Wales. What does this tell you about the reader and about, well, the expected reader and the writer, the author? Where are they probably from?
Lagoon.
No, like when they say an area the size of Wales, Would an American person or an Australian person say that? No.
I don't know where is Wales, but I
Wales
think
is in
that
the
is-
United Kingdom.
or in the UK.
The
Oh.
United Kingdom is called the United Kingdom because it's made up of several different like nationalities, several different countries.
Oh, I see.
Well, it's considered one country, but you have different like kingdoms inside of it. You have like the Kingdom of Wales, you have the Kingdom of Scotland, you have the Kingdom of England, right?
Wow.
Northern Ireland too.
I've never learned that in my history.
Right. Well, that's why if it was a Malaysian author or a Chinese author, they would compare it to a place that their readers are going to know. They would say it's the size of like some place in Malaysia or some place in, you know, like a province.
Mm-hmm.
And if it was an American author, they would say the size of Pennsylvania or the size of Maine. They would use a state.
Mm-mm. I see.
Okay. And mark the former course of the Parana River and these vast wetlands and improbably rich ecosystems. Okay, so yeah, I think that this is actually, he uses a lot of like big words or words that might be new to you, but it's pretty basic. It's just, this part is probably going to give you some trouble. So low-rise, eco-friendly development. What is a low-rise building?
Low-rise building, the
Mhm.
opposite to high-rise building.
Yeah. So
Flurry.
low-rise, it doesn't stick up high.
What is flurry? I just know
Like-
McFlurry.
A flurry is a flurry is a bunch of movements at once.
What?
So a
Bunch of what?
flurry, a bunch of movements at once. So a flurry of kicks. A flurry of kicks in a fight would be when the fighter throws kick, 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 like he kicks someone really fast. Or she was fighting and she threw a flurry of punches. She's punching really fast.
Oh, flurry.
So,
She's
in
throwing
this-
flurry of.
Right. It means a bunch of actions in a very short amount of time. Many actions in a short amount of time. So a flurry of development means that a bunch of buildings are being constructed at the same time.
Oh,
Like
bunch of
think
buildings
think
within.
about Penang in Malaysia, right? What did Penang look like 40 or 50 years ago? Nothing, right? Like
Mm,
pretty small compared to now.
Yeah,
Right? And
so-
now it has all these high-rise apartments like the penthouse one that you showed me. So that would be a flurry of development. Maybe now COVID has slowed things down, but for a while in Southeast Asia, you saw countries like Malaysia were having a lot of money put into building high rises in real estate. So that would be a flurry of development.
Yeah, true too.
Like here are some examples of flurries. Oh, and the reason that there's a McFlurry, I don't need to show you a video. It's easy enough to explain. The reason it's called a McFlurry is because flurries are also snowflakes.
Flurry is also snowflakes.
Mhm.
Oh,
How's the weather today? It's flurrying. Okay. To be moved in small swirling masses by sudden gusts of wind. So like here's a snow flurry.
but very fine one, right?
Yeah. See how the snow's just blowing around?
Mm-hmm.
It's like a flurry. Okay, anyway.
It moves very fast because of the wind.
Yeah, the meaning is actually kind of different. it comes from the same place, but it's evolved and changed a bit. The reason people say like a flurry of development is because, yeah, all of the snow is like blowing at you. It's like it happens very suddenly, and there's a lot of little pieces of snow around you all of a sudden. It's like wind blows and then there's a flurry of snow. You can also use it for dry leaves.
Okay.
Leaves can flurry too.
It's flurrying particularly it is used for winter or during
Yeah,
summer?
but you can use it for autumn in countries where the leaves fall off.
So it could be, if you say it's flurrying, it could be possibly.
If you're saying it's flurrying, it's always winter. But if you specify the leaves are flurrying, or a flurry of leaves, now you're using it as a noun. So
Mhm.
a flurry of leaves, it could be autumn, or it has to be autumn actually.
Okay.
He walked down the empty street. A flurry of leaves passed in front of him. He felt sad. So the guy's like walking down a street, and then in front of him, wind blows some leaves across the street, but there's nothing else moving. It's empty.
Oh, that's nice. I mean, the expression is nice.
Yeah, that's kind of why these things exist, to like make things more interesting. It's more fun than just saying a group of leaves moved quickly across the street. I talked earlier about painting a picture, which is what we want to do with writing.
Yeah.
We want to paint a picture in the reader's mind. Okay, so your turn.
To reach the Esteros from Buenos Aires, we took an overnight coach to the dusty town of Mercedes. After a further hour's journey in a 4x4, trot down the dirt track, otherwise known as provincial road or route. Road.
Both are correct. Route and route are both correct.
40 inches? No, just 40.
Just 40.
Yeah. And as a red sun crawled over the horizon, we approached the makeshift bridge which serves as a gateway to the Laguna Ibera. Ibera means bright water in Guarani, and as we rattled over the bridge, the surroundings fell away as if we were driving across the gleaming ocean.
So you understand what's going on here? They're just traveling. So that it's like a flashback. He's saying, how did they get there? Well, he took an overnight coach. What's an overnight coach?
I just know coach. I thought coach is someone who coaches or trains the sports.
That's one form. A coach is also a noun, meaning this is a big bus with air conditioning that goes for a long journey.
Is that
let me just show you a picture.
Shuttle bus.
What's that?
Shuttle bus.
No, a coach bus is different. This is a coach bus. See, a coach bus goes for a long distance. It's like designed to travel for a long distance. And then a shuttle bus is much smaller. A shuttle bus is smaller and it's going between two places that are relatively close. But a coach bus is big, and often they just call it a coach, not a bus.
Can you call that as a trip bus? No. How is this the bus that we see in a MTR station? Like they need to send the passengers to like certain stations, or no?
No, this is like if you want to get from one city to another city, you take a coach.
Is it okay?
Or like you can rent it for, like, let's say you and all of your friends want to go on a trip. You can rent a coach and then it'll take you there. Like, for example, we had this,
How about like from Bangkok to Hua Hin? Bangkok to
yeah, you would take a coach.
Coach Bus. Okay.
Actually, you could take, there's two options. If you want to spend the money, you could take a coach, but Bangkok to Hua Hin is only about like 2.5 to 3 hours. So you could actually take what's like a taxi or a van also. They have these. Here are the different types of transit in Thailand. Here's a van. So these are the most common. These take you, so it has the destinations here. On the top,
Mm-hmm.
it says Krung Thep, that's Bangkok. And then it says Kanchang. I don't know where. Kanchang, it would be maybe, I don't know where Kanchang is. I don't know where that is. So anyway,
Oh, that's cool.
so it's Bangkok to somewhere. And then, so it tells you like the two places it goes. And then these are very common. Then the next size up would just be a Thai city bus,
Thai city bus.
like these. You see these?
Ah,
They're like,
cities.
yeah, like this. And then you have these real, a lot of them are like 40, 50 years old, like, or 40 years old, like this one. And then the next step up would be a coach bus, which we already talked about. Oh, not couch, coach.
Oh, okay.
And
How
this
about
is
chartered
the
bus?
what's up?
Chartered bus.
That's like for airports. It's a shuttle bus is like a city bus. See how the coach, look at the shuttle bus and then look at the coach. See how the coach has this space? Can you see my mouse?
Oh, yeah. You
Yeah,
put
that's for the
luggage.
bags. Yeah, right. And it has like space to lean back and comfortable seats, and it's more comfortable because it's built for a long term. And here's the history of coach. So historic,
Or I can call this as a tourism bus
Yes.
too, right?
right? No, call it a coach. You can call it a tour bus. You're thinking
Tour
of tour bus, TOUR bus, a tour bus you could use.
Because in Malaysia, we also have this kind of coach bus, but then it is intended for the migrant workers.
Okay, that's a different meaning.
Oh,
Or like that's not the way it's used in most English contexts.
you don't say migrant bus, right?
No, you would just, yeah, I don't think there's a specific noun. You would have to say a bus. If you want to use proper English, you would just say a bus filled with migrant workers, or a call it a mus. No, call it a bus of migrant workers, like use bus as your unit. But this is why it's called a coach, because this is how people used to travel back in the day, like back in historical
Like
times.
premium bus.
Yeah, right.
Oh, okay.
But I'm like, so this was actually like, this was how you got long distances before trains. You had to take one of these.
I thought this is a carriage or no?
Yeah, it's a type of carriage, but it's specifically called a coach.
Oh, okay. Wouldn't it sound discriminative if I say a bus filled with migrant workers?
No, it sounds more discriminatory if you call it like a migrant bus or something. Then
Oh,
it
yeah.
sounds sort of like you're mocking them or something.
Yeah.
But I think either one is fine. You're just being honest. So this is, you also have these things called stage coaches. And a stagecoach, the reason it's called stage is because the horses would get tired, okay? So they had them to stage something. It doesn't just mean a stage like where people have a play. It also means to set something up. So they set up the coaches in stages between areas. So you would travel like 100 miles and then you would switch to another coach, and then another 100 miles and then you'd switch to another coach, and then another 100 miles and you'd switch to another coach.
So
That way here are the people traveling on it. That way they could get across big distances relatively quickly because the horses would always be fresh.
so they will have a lot of coaches
Right.
stationed
They
at
would-
different places.
They
So
would
they
be
know-
staged, STAGED, so they called them stage coaches.
then
That's
how
a very
come-
American thing though.
I mean, yeah, and then last time they don't have GPS, so how they know that they are heading to the right direction?
Maps,
Maps.
right, and landmarks. So like, oh, this mountain should be to our right. Okay, it's there on our right. And then at night they can use the stars to navigate. Like stars are always going to be in consistent positions. Like every night the
Constellation?
stars are going to be in the same spot, depending
Like
on the season.
constellation, we use the
You
constellation.
have this thing too. You seen one?
Sextant.
Yeah, a sextant is for navigating. You use it. Basically, don't ask me how to use it because this is a very complicated tool. But you use this part, the telescope, and then you focus it on one like star or something. And then you can use it to figure out where you are, like your latitude and longitude. Latitude is how far across you are on the world and in the world, I guess. And then longitude is how far up or down you are. We still use a system of coordinates for GPS. So
Oh.
coordinates here. So the y-axis is your your latitude. Like when you say a country is in a high latitude, it means that it's up near the North Pole. And then longitude is how far across you are. So by using the stars and things that stay in the same place, they could figure out where they were.
Oh, so latitude is like the y-axis. It moves.
The x-axis.
Tells us how.
Latitude is x-axis, longitude is y-axis.
Okay. Latitude shows the horizontal distance, and then longitude shows the vertical distance.
So it's the other way around. I don't know what I said, but longitude is the vertical distance, latitude is the horizontal distance.
Okay.
I think that's what I said originally. Did I?
Yeah, I see. Yeah.
Okay, sorry, I got it mixed up. So latitude is this way, the x-axis, and longitude is the y-axis.
Oh yeah, just a random question. I mean, does Australia have 4 seasons? Does it have
Yes.
4 seasons?
I think so.
Because seems like they don't experience.
Maybe they don't have winter.
Oh, wait a minute. My battery is running.
Well, I think the thing is working. It says winter. This is just stupid. It looks like, yeah, they have 4 seasons. Summer, autumn, winter, spring.
How about oh yeah, Thailand is a tropical.
Thailand.
Right?
Yeah, it's
Both
tropical. It's same as Malaysia, basically.
Do they experience like typhoon or even like earthquake?
Yeah,
Oh, really?
earthquakes probably, but I've never heard of it. Typhoon, yes, for sure.
But it doesn't happen in Malaysia, right? I guess
Typhoons
typhoons and
on the peninsula, it would.
on the peninsula.
As long as you're near the ocean, you should experience typhoons.
Oh,
A
but
typhoon is like a tropical storm.
tropical storm.
Mhm.
Okay.
But you'd probably be better off looking on Wikipedia than asking me, because that's like meteorology, like the study of weather.
Because you're like a Wikipedia, I can ask you everything and you can answer.
Yeah, you could just say, do they have typhoons in Malaysia?
Uh,
Something like that. Or just look up typhoon and then it will probably show you the areas of which they're common.
uh,
Okay, so
4x4, is it the same as like four-wheel car?
it means that there's power going to all four wheels. It means like four-wheel drive.
Four
Heard
by
this
four.
term? Yeah, as the opposite of 4x4 is 4x2, where power is only going to the back two wheels or the front two wheels.
The power.
The power is going on a 4x4. It's four-wheel drive, which means that the power of the engine goes to all four wheels.
Uh,
Makes sense?
yeah, like normally the truck, they are more powerful, right? As compared to normal cars.
They're better at, oh, trucks versus cars, you mean? Yeah, usually. And the
So,
trucks are gonna be, the 4x4 trucks are better at traveling off-road because they're less likely to get stuck. Because even if you get, right, yeah. Because there's always power going to all four wheels.
okay. What's the word for that? I still remember it has to do with something that, a word that begins with the letter R.
The word for what, getting stuck or
Robust. Is it
robust? Yes.
robust?
Robust means something different though. Robust means that it's like hard to break. I'm not sure that a 4x4 truck would be more robust than a 4x2 truck. But the important thing is that robust means, like, for example, a safe could be robust.
A safe could be
You could
robust.
put your items in a robust safe. Or you could use it to describe a person. You could say she was quite robust. Like looking at her, you could see she was strong. She had a look of someone who doesn't give in to pressure easily. That's robust.
Oh, give in to pressure. Okay. Someone who doesn't surrender so easily.
Perfect.
Okay. Gotcha.
Okay, I don't think there's anything else important here.
Yeah, it's very
He
hard.
uses a lot of words that like are designed to paint a picture. Like he could say, we traveled over the bridge, but he says we rattled over the bridge, as in the vehicle was going. He's trying to give you an idea of that it's not a smooth ride. Like it's an adventure, you know?
Okay. I thought rattle is used for the chain, like the chain is rattling.
It is, but it, like in a truck or a car. Here, I'll give you an example. It's easy. This is one of those cases where it's easier for me to show than to tell. Let's go to Iraq or maybe Afghanistan, because I've seen videos that illustrate this well. And YouTube seems to be down. But okay, picture like you're in like a truck going over a very bumpy road, or a car going over a very bumpy road. And as you hit bumps, everything in the car starts to bounce around and move around, right? That's rattling.
Oh, okay. Got you.
So it's the same meaning as what you were talking about. It's just used in a different context. Okay, is it your turn to read? No, it's mine.
Mhm.
The sweeping lawns of the Posada de la Laguna, Laguna means lake, by the way. I don't know what Posada means, were dotted with a selection of multicolored birds. One had a shock of bright red feathers, as if it had been dunked headfirst in a pot of day-glow paint. The birds barely noticed us. It was hard not to trip over them as we rolled our luggage through the freshly cut grass. Later at breakfast, I turned to see a pair of hummingbirds on the veranda. They would return every morning. Okay, so he's still talking about the settings, or the setting, not settings.
It's hard. I hardly understand.
Sweeping means going off. Okay, tell me which vocabulary words you don't get and we'll go over them.
Actually, about 80% I understand. I know the meaning of the words, but once they jump all together, it gets very hard for me to understand what's going on.
But you get the big idea, right? He's in a place and there's sort of, it's exotic. There's animals everywhere. He says they were dotted, like picture someone drawing dots on a map with a selection of multicolored birds. One had a shock of bright red head feathers. So Dayglow is a type of really bright paint. Like picture the paint that construction workers use on the road to mark. Or like if you've seen like ravers, like people partying in a rave, they put like Dayglow paint on their faces so that they glow and look bright and colorful.
Mhm.
All right. And your turn. We were staying
in the small town of Colonia Carlos Pellegrini,
Mhm.
an ideal base for exploring the Esteros. The Posada was built in 1997, and in recent years, a number of other lodges that share its emphasis on conservation and tradition have opened nearby, but none has such a privileged position right on the water.
Right. So I guess you could kind of, I don't know what Posada means either because it's Spanish, but you can probably guess that Posada means either a small town or a lodge.
Lodge?
A lodge is like a wilderness hotel or a hotel for skiing. Like
A
a
hotel
mountain,
for
a lodge is like specifically this type of hotel.
hotel for
You've seen
skiing.
this. This is like a ski lodge, right? But you also have,
Because I think just a single word, it has a lot of meanings, like lodge, like something is lodged between the teeth.
right,
I use
but
lodge and
it means
another-
like fit there, right? But this means like a hotel, but it's specifically one it's lodged somewhere, like it's sort of in a unique spot. A lodge is like a wilderness hotel. Like picture a hotel that isn't just isn't in a city, it's out in the countryside. That's a lodge.
out of the
And
countryside.
you're often going to see the noun lodge paired with an adjective that modifies it in some way, like ski lodge, wilderness lodge, right? Mountain lodge. And that adjective is going to tell you what type of lodge, what type of wilderness hotel.
So lodge
is.
means a place that is far away from the city.
Yes, it's a hotel that's in nature.
Hotel in nature.
Mhm.
So I can say like another meaning for lodge would be like something like star, lodge between the teeth. We use the toothpick.
Yeah, he was lodged, right? Or his arm was, yeah, perfect. He had something lodged between his teeth. Yep.
And also we can use lodge for complaints.
Yeah, you can lodge a complaint. Very good. There it's used as a verb.
Any other meanings for lodge?
Not that I know of.
Or just these? I see. Okay, got it.
You can change it to lodgings. Your lodgings are the places that you stay, like your lodgings are your hotel room.
Lodgings, it will be a
Yeah,
noun.
his lodgings were nice. Like his lodgings were very luxurious. Yeah,
Lodging or lounge, L-O-N-G.
lodgings, it would be a noun. Not it always would have S. It would be plural,
Okay,
but it
lodging.
talks about one thing, which is confusing.
How about lounge, Lounge?
Lounge. Oh, that means to relax. A lounge is a room for relaxing, listening to music. And then it can also mean like a type of bar that plays, like in the past, a lounge would have been like a bar where people smoke and listen to music and drink. But in recent times, it's less and less common for people to smoke indoors. But a lot of bars are still called, like a lot of old bars are called like the so and so lounge.
Lounge.
It's similar to a bar. And then to lounge as a verb means to like relax, sit on the couch, be a couch potato. How did you spend your Sunday? Oh, it was a lazy Sunday. I just lounged around the house. So you're just like chilling, not really exerting not participating in physical activity or working.
Lounge around the house means
Like
you are
relax
just
around the house.
relaxing, not doing anything.
Mhm.
Okay, so like the airport, we also have the lounge for business
Right.
class.
That comes from the old meaning that I talked about, like a room for chilling and smoking and listening to music and having a drink.
That is only for the business class.
You can buy them. You can just buy them, even if you're flying coach.
Even
Yeah. Sometimes it
buying-
depends on it depends on the airline and the airport. But usually you can spend money if you want. You could fly coach and then you could buy a pass to the lounge. At least that's been my experience. But yeah, there's some that are just like for business class or whatever. Here's the old. Let's go to 1964.
Oh,
You see, it used to be like something like this. No, that's just a normal airport. Do they have pictures of the lounges? Yeah, here's the Beatles, that one. So like a place to relax and chill. It's hard to see the backgrounds because they're so popular. And now the lounge is, just the modern equivalent of that.
I see.
All right, so we're out of time, but the good news is that Zoom is working, so
Yeah.
not bad.
So regarding to, because I plan to like launch the class starting from April, at least you have the time to prepare.
Mhm.
So I was thinking of like, because you're scared of burning out, so I'll take 3 classes and then you take 1 class. Oh,
It could work. Just one thing is like, what happens if I have a race on a Saturday? Like, usually the
can
race
choose
would
your
be
time.
Sunday.
Or
It's always on, they're always on Sundays, and then they'll have the qualifying and practice on Saturday. So you have to arrive Saturday morning.
They will
Would you
give
be able to,
notice.
could we do like a substitution in that case? Like, could I take your class and you take mine? Okay,
Sure,
then it's fine.
just
Then
as
I can
long
do it.
as, you make announcement to
Yeah,
the students and then, yeah,
I
actually,
would
I'm
know like
thinking of,
I would know like 2 or 3 weeks before.
yeah, actually, I'm thinking of whether, because I think 120, I think a lot of parents will go because, first of all, they don't have printers. It will be a hassle for them to keep printing stuff. So I think like 120 might be a little bit off their budget. So I think I might lower a price to 100 per month. What do you
Okay,
think?
just let me know. I don't know. I can't think and ring it.
So
One hundred ringgit to Thai baht.
that will be like
So
divided
seven
by
hundred and
4.
eighty-six per student per month.
Yeah, but then after splitting, you will get like 25, right?
2,500.
Yeah, but
Oh, or you mean 25 students?
25 ringgit, because 100 ringgit divided by 4, it's going to
25
be
ringgit to Thai baht. Okay,
times.
so 200 baht, and then how many students do you think?
I'll assume it at 10, the worst.
Okay. So
Yeah.
like 2,000 baht for the full day.
Yeah,
It's
the
not-
worst,
It's not great, but it's not terrible.
not great and not terrible. Yeah.
That's for the whole day, right? For 4 hours
For
of
one,
classes.
for one class.
Oh, no, then that's good. Because there's 4, right? Because there would be like 4 classes per day.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
that
yeah, no,
I
that's
assume
fine.
that altogether I have 40 students, so 25 times 40. The worst.
Yeah, it's profitable.
That's
I see no, yeah, that, and I think if you focus on the younger kids, you can actually keep them, unlike the adults. I'm still trying on the Thai side of things. I'll let you know how that goes. My girlfriend is here today. I'll talk to her, see what she says.
Oh, sure, no problem, no problem. And she will join. Oh yeah, she just joins your class, right? And then or
Oh, she
will
just
do-
pretended, she said that she was in it and that it was good.
I see. Oh, yesterday?
No, I mean like in when she was posting it to the Thai Facebook group, she was like, "Oh, I took lessons with these people and it's a great class," or something like that.
I thought both of you have photos together, and isn't it like too obvious?
I don't know. These people aren't, they'll be fine. I'm sure she did it in a subtle way,
I see.
but I'll check in and see. But I haven't heard a lot of the groups, they didn't approve the posts, maybe
Oh.
because they don't want other teachers advertising. So let's see. You've been much more successful in recruitment. Maybe you could have another trial class again.
Trial class. I
Yeah.
see. So
You might want to
so-
stop the recording, by the way.
Oh yeah, I should stop it.
Mhm.